There we go. Okay. I've had to get pretty fancy because I haven't used a tripod for a single one of these videos, which I feel like is an accomplishment in its own way. Today I have lodged my camera on a branch of a tree, so we'll see how this goes. Goodness me. I have talked about this in a video before. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go to a hour-long video I made, first hour-long video I made, which was called My Face. I literally just talked for a long time about my face, about my physical appearance, about this thing that the world has chosen to be my avatar, and a lot of the insecurity that I have felt around it, and a lot of the desire to have one that is not mine. Literally, there was a time when I would just look around and be like, I would take that person's face over mine, I would take that person's face over mine. And eventually there were far, far more that I would take over mine that I would, you know, very superficially choose mine to be better than, right? This is definitely one of the hindrances that I've faced in trying to be a YouTuber. I have some sap on me. In trying to be a YouTuber is that I always want to look presentable, and for one reason or another, I'm just not always going to, either because the lighting's not great, as it is not right now, or, you know, not great angles, or sometimes, I swear to God, your face just takes different shapes and different structures from one day to the next sometimes. You know, all that lymphatic tissue and other sciencey stuff that I can't begin to articulate because I'm not smart enough. I don't always feel like I look presentable enough to be on the camera. And sometimes you just got to deal with that. And I think that's one of the secret advantages of doing this challenge, is that I just have to deal with how I look in a video. I don't do reshoots practically ever, and I really just force myself to take it as it is when I have to post every single day. You get used to it, but I definitely still find myself being like, oh my gosh, I really hope nobody clicks on that video in particular. Maybe the content of what I said was really good even, but I just don't look, you know, marriageable in that in that video. Like this, it feels like a roadblock to the content of my mind and my overall essence. It feels like this is just blocking the whole thing. And I find myself really dissatisfied with the automatic thumbnails that it gives me. And I find myself going and making custom thumbnails, which is like, okay, in this part of the video, the angle of my face, I don't despise, so I'm gonna use that instead. I go to such great lengths to just not appear ugly. I go to such great lengths to not even appear average. Like, I gotta be just slightly above average all the time. If I ever fall below anybody's like 6 out of 10, it just feels like the end of the world to me. But who is anybody? Nobody's even watching these videos, so who am I answering to? There's like this imaginary pretty girl in my mind. In the same way that I have like a critic who reads every single piece of writing that I ever do and just points out how it's all derivative nonsense and how I shouldn't even be putting my fingers to a keyboard. I have this imaginary critic of my looks, who's this really beautiful girl who just finds everything wrong, always talks about my asymmetries or my weak chin, or if my pores are looking particularly bad on a certain day, or if my hair is super messy, anything like that. She's really, really mean. I want to give her a name right now. What should her name be? I would call her Melanie, because I've met quite a few Melanies I don't like. There's one Melanie in my life who is very, very sweet, so I don't want to use that one. I'd say I'll say Cassandra. I don't really know a whole lot of Cassandras, and that sounds like somebody who could be mean to me. If your name is Cassandra, let's meet sometime, and I will prove you right by just finding every single mean thing that you do, or translating anything that you do to be somehow against me, because I have major confirmation bias with regards to that name, apparently. Yeah, this is my face. This is what's been carrying me through this entire world. And there's no amount of thumbnail editing or anything like that that's going to change like what this is. The only thing that's going to change it on any sort of dramatic level is like plastic surgery. I could take better care of my skin. That might help a little bit too. But it's like this is the avatar of this simulation. and it's a pretty good one overall. It could be a whole lot worse. Yeah, I just felt like I should just be honest about that. That's one thing I've kind of been trying to avoid. And then it's funny, after a while, after video after video after video of trying to avoid a certain subject matter or struggling to keep some aspect out of the video, that's when you realize, oh yeah, that's what I really need to make a video about next.